Ladies and gentlemen, the following episode is scheduled for one fall. Coming down the aisle are your hosts of In The Kliq, baby Huey and BrianTronic.
What's up, everybody? Baby Huey here, and joining me once again is my tag team partner, BrianTronic. How's it going, man?
Reunited and it feels so good. What's up, Huey? I'm back, baby.
Dude, I've missed you so much. Like, that's an understatement. I don't know if you heard, was it last episode? So I asked him from Pro Wrestling Unlimited to help out. I told him, and I told him I was going to tell you this next time I talk to you. If there's ever a situation where I need to go on the run, I need to hide, I need to disappear, whether it's like from the cops, the FBI, a crazy ex-girlfriend or something, I'm going to come to you because you know how to disappear off the face of the earth and no one can get in touch with you, can find you. So that is, I have learned you're my number one source for that. So,
well, Huey, I had to make my huge return. You know, I had to make the Kliqsters miss me. You know, it was right after WrestleMania, and I had my big main event match.
I was gonna say you're trying to have like a John Cena surprise return or a Cody return or Triple H
returning just right before the summer. You know, the summer of Tron.
Oh my God.
Tron 2023.
Okay, we'll go with that. It's the summer Tron finishing his story.
Yes.
But yes, no, it feels so good to have you back to talk. Yes. God, there's so much to talk about with you. Yes. But this episode, we're going to focus on Backlash. It was this past Saturday. And we'll talk about the fallout from Monday Night Raw last night because they're already on the road to Night of Champions now. And a lot happened on this episode of Monday Night Raw to set up matches for Night of Champions, which is now, less than 3 weeks away. But like I said, we will focus first on Backlash. But yeah, a couple things, Brian. I'd love to get your quick takes. WWE Draft came and went last week. New world title also unveiled from Triple H. So I just want to get your opinions on both of those. Just kind of quick takeaways, your thoughts on the draft this year, who won, who lost. Any major observations from your point of view?
Yeah, the draft was good, man. I think I was a little surprised that nobody, if I'm not mistaken, got broken up, right? Like a lot of teams stay together. I thought that everyone stayed together. Yeah. I thought we'd at least get like a Damage Control breakup because it looked like weeks prior to that. That's where the direction that they was going in, but it looks like they're stretching that out just a little bit longer
for storyline purpose.
Yeah. And so I thought it was interesting that we got some free agents. Who they are is actually more interesting just because like Brock Lesnar is, he's a part-timer. Brock Lesnar's like a full-time, more of a full-timer than a free agent. It seems like ever since, even before WrestleMania, he's been just around more often than we thought, right? And so I was just saying, like, the free agents like Brock Lesnar, Ali, it's just like, okay, his creative has been going pretty much any and everywhere right now. I don't even know how long he'll be around, right?
Baron Corbin, Zion Lee.
Right. Omos, who's supposed to be the special attraction, probably ain't going to be on TV very much unless Vince is in control. Stuff like that was a surprise. But overall, I thought the draft was good. Obviously, Raw getting the bulk of the superstars because they're a 3-hour show.
Yeah.
SmackDown getting some fresh faces.
SmackDown got the majority of like the NXT calls, which to me, that's exciting that a lot of the fresh faces are going to be on SmackDown. So that's going to be fun to watch as well. Oh, but, overall, I enjoyed the draft for what it is. I wish there maybe was more element of surprise, but I wish maybe there's more like authority figures, some sort of commissioner, maybe for Raw or SmackDown making the choices. But no, overall, it was a lot of fun. And I give a lot of my takes the last couple episodes ago. So, but yeah, and then new world title.
Oh, man.
Brought out
championship. I like it. It at first I was like, okay, it's okay, but it's grown on me the more I see it. I do like that this championship has snaps in the back instead of the Velcro. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but I've seen like the back shot of it. And I'm like, oh my God, it has the buttons. It's got the snaps. So hopefully if they start to change, with Rhea Ripley and Bianca switching shows and keeping their championships for now, I don't know if those championships are going to be renamed or redesigned or not, but hopefully or even the tag titles, right? I don't know if we're going to get new tag titles, but hopefully we see the snaps come back and we get rid of the Velcro, because I'm tired of seeing everybody's hair get stuck to it.
I know. I saw that one video clip of Bianca Belair. Her hair got caught on the Velcro on the back of the titles. I don't know when that happened though. I don't know if I just missed it on live television whenever it happened, but someone isolated and put on social. I was like, oh, that's pretty funny. I felt bad for her, but she's a pro. She worked around and just kept talking and didn't make it a distraction or anything. But
my one question real quick though is my one concern, or just thought, like, I'm just wondering, like, will the lineage of the old World Heavyweight Championship continue with this World Heavyweight Championship, or will it just be like a whole fresh new one?
They have not made that clear yet or discussed that. So that is still a big question mark. Okay. But I kind of have one prediction of, spoiler alert, we're already jumping ahead. Seth Rollins won for Raw last night. So who's he going to face from SmackDown? Just jumping ahead. We could talk about it more in a little bit.
Yeah.
I kind of wonder he might fight Edge in the finals, and Edge could say, hey, I never lost a world title. I had to forfeit it when I had to retire originally. What was that, 8 years ago?
Yeah.
So I never lost a world title. However, if he does say that, then I think people are going to connect the dots and assume, okay, does this new world title going to have the lineage of the previous world title?
Right.
So they might not want to go down that hole with Edge, because then people will be like, oh, trying to connect the dots or something, and be like, oh, I guess this is connected somehow. So we can talk about that more in a little bit. But no, I love it. I'm with you. The more I see that title, I'm starting to like it more and more. You know me. I love big gold circular plates. This has a lot of gold. It stands out. And I saw a video of someone describing some of the details with the lions on there. And that represents the McMahon family logo, the family, what do you call that? The family shield.
Okay.
What? Crest? Is that the term?
Okay.
Yeah. So it just like that represents the McMahon family. And then there's like a little W at the top. There's some like real detail. I have to see if I can find that video and share it. But there's a video explaining the detail on that I didn't know about before. So it makes that title represent or has a lot more value to or prestige to it. Yeah. So it's really cool. So the more I see, I'm with you. And I know everyone's like, oh, it's got a big WWE logo in the middle. It's that's the company logo. Yeah. And as everyone else's, every other title in other sports, you have the logo of that sport or that company in the middle. UFC, what's the other examples? In boxing and whatever sport, the championship. Even. Yes. Oh yeah, New Japan, AEW. The name of the company is in the middle of the championship. But no, I'm with you. I'm starting to like that world title more and more. So we'll talk more about the tournament, because that all came out the day after the press conference and all that stuff, but we'll get into that in a sec. So for right now, let's go ahead and jump in and talk about Backlash this past Saturday down in Puerto Rico, premium live event. Now, just to clarify, I know some people were saying, oh, it's an international show, and other people are like, no, it's not. It's technically not an international show, because as we know, Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory, so technically it's U.S. Part of the U.S. country. So it's technically not an international show, but yes, it was off the island on Puerto Rico. So, Yeah, man, this show, wow. Early contender for show of the year already. Yeah. We're about the halfway point in 2023, but Brian, I'll turn it to you, man. What are just some of your overall takeaways and just thoughts on WWE Backlash in Puerto Rico this year?
Yeah, it definitely was like so far one of the top shows, if not the top, pay-per-view or premium live event for me. And I know a lot of people, we could talk about the crowd, right, and their participation and their energy alone, but I don't think, the energy and effort from a lot of the superstars are getting enough credit, right? Like their energy and their effort. A lot of people on this card took this as if this was WrestleMania. And I think that stood out to me. Like, this is Backlash.
Well, right? Cody in his promo a couple weeks ago, he said WrestleMania Backlash. It was a little slip of the tongue. Sorry, okay, keep going.
No, but I was just saying, like, I feel like everybody really brought it and they came to, put on a show.
Yeah.
And, that's rare, especially for Backlash. And I'll say this, there wasn't too many, like, I know we're so used to Backlash being like the show that was easily just like predictable or forgettable,
throwaway.
Yeah. A lot of rematches and such. So that was another difference here. But Bad Bunny, the electricity, the fans, Zelina Vega, the LWO, they really carried the show. And I felt like, Triple H, congratulations. This was an A+.
No, let's be honest. The real MVP was Savio Vega.
Oh man. That made me smile. Savio Vega and Carlito made me smile, and it gave me goosebumps just to be like, because you're sitting on the couch. You haven't been spoiled, right, on the internet. No one, for that.
I got spoiled. Well, sorry, not to cut you off, Brian, but Saturday I had some tech issues with my radio job, and I had to go to the station and redo everything. And so while I was doing that, it was while Backlash was going on, and then when I came home, people were texting me stuff, and it was spoiled for me. But sorry, as you were saying, man. Yeah.
No, but I was watching the Laker game and I was watching Backlash at the same time. So like I had Backlash, I had Backlash on my phone, but I also had it on TV. But I was also switching to the game on TV, but still had Backlash playing on my phone. So I didn't miss a thing of Backlash. And man, Savio Vega, Carlito. That crowd, the electricity, the pop, Bad Bunny with probably, arguably, I'm sorry, Huey, Stone Cold-esque.
I'm with you. I was going to say that. Well, I was going to say real quick, Savio Vega, he always has a special place in my heart because he was like the first opponent for Steve Austin when Steve Austin became Stone Cold after he, dropped the $1 Million Man or the Ringmaster gimmick.
Yep.
And became Stone Cold. And I felt like, if I remember correctly, like Savio Vega was like his first opponent that he had like a feud going with. And so I just remember Vince McMahon, here comes Savio Vega. Oh no, Savio Vega. Like, it's just Savio Vega always has a place in my heart because when I started falling in love with Stone Cold, Savio Vega was like his first opponent that kind of really launched him or get him going.
Yeah.
So
it was amazing. It was amazing to see him at Backlash, and they first showed him backstage and I was like, oh man, I wonder if he's going to show up, live in front of the crowd, during the Bad Bunny Damian Priest match, because I'm sure we all knew San Juan Street Fight. I'm sure we all knew that, the LWO and there's going to be so much shenanigans. Everything was going to be happening. But yeah, that was a big surprise, man. Backlash was 10 out of 10 for me, from top to bottom.
Yeah, no, I'm with you as far as early contender for show of the year. As you mentioned, Backlash in recent years, or for the longest time, it was considered a B-level pay-per-view. WWE, they have the Big Four pay-per-view, but now it's even been expanded to the Big Five between Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. Outside of those five are the other pay-per-views, monthly pay-per-views, and those are all considered like B-level pay-per-views, not as big, not as important. In the past, sometimes, give or take, the creative direction at the time and when things happen, a lot of times those are just filler pay-per-views, as you just mentioned. They're just matches, it's a show they just have to do because it's that time of the calendar. They just got to get their show in and got to get some matches put together, and then they go on and move in a different direction, leading towards the next big pay-per-view, the Big 5 pay-per-view. So to Triple H's credit, I think he's been hitting it out of the park with all the Big 5 pay-per-views, we haven't seen him do Money in the Bank yet. With the Big 4 pay-per-views, they've been all great. Mm-hmm. But even these B-level pay-per-views over the last year, or almost coming up with 10 months now, that Triple H has been in charge of creative, he puts a lot of effort, it looks like, in the B-level pay-per-views to make them special, make them feel important. Mm-hmm. Goes back to Clash at the Castle, Extreme Rules, and Elimination Chamber, Backlash. They all have big moments as well, and feel important. So they're not just throwaway pay-per-views anymore. So I don't know about you, but like I was getting really excited for this pay-per-view. It's like the effort being put in. It's almost like, I'm starting to get that excitement like I used to get for TakeOver weekends. Yeah, like I miss it pre-COVID, where we have like a Big 4 pay-per-view weekend, and wherever the Big 4 pay-per-view is on that Sunday, that Saturday is a TakeOver. So you get like two amazing shows back to back in one weekend. And I used to love the hype, the build up for takeovers, because it was like once a quarter. So it wasn't that often, but when it did happen, it was a big deal. So I'm getting kind of like those same level of excitement again. And that's just so awesome as a WWE fan right now, just to have that enjoyment, that excitement for it. Yeah. But so I was glad that this was not a throwaway show, not a throwaway pay-per-view. So it was a home run out of the park. It was so much fun. Like you said, the crowd was amazing. Like I cannot praise this crowd enough. Thank you, Puerto Rico, your fan base. You guys brought it. That's it was. I saw this discussion online. That's what makes like a good show great, and like a great show like legendary. The crowd participation. They are very much part of the show as the wrestlers, and they can take something to the next level. And the fact that crowd from the first bell to the last bell were nonstop energy, cheering, booing, reaction all night long. They did not stop, and they made that whole event just so much fun to watch. So thank you to the crowd. But also, I really enjoyed the drone camera that WWE seemed to be using.
Yes.
Yeah, you liked? Okay. So we saw it on SmackDown, where like they kick off the show and they have the camera outside and you see the fans outside walking in, and the drone camera flies in through the front doors into the arena floor, and you got the whole shot of the fans in the seats. That was cool. And they did the same thing again for Backlash. And then that now great camera shot of Bad Bunny coming to the ring, his entrance, that drone camera coming from behind. So yeah, that drone camera effect they used all night was awesome. That really captured the vibe of the crowd.
It's they're taking it to a whole different level. Like, because when you do that, they with the CGI, right? Like, I think I think I speak for a lot of people. Like, that's really cool, but we all know it's not there. Right.
Oh yeah.
It's cool sometimes when they do it, but and I do notice that ever since Triple H took over, we've been seeing a lot less of that, especially during the entrances. But man, those drone shots, especially trailing behind Bad Bunny and then just revealing the crowd on their feet, going crazy. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. I felt like that really added to the entrance alone, like, and they compromised, right? Like they knew it's not like they weren't in a stadium, right? And they weren't in an arena. Like obviously the setup was a lot different. It wasn't the big giant screen like they usually have. And so what they did this time, instead of, they had the drone shot, and then they panned the crowd. Like that was so cool, and it was really creative, and it was definitely special because Bad Bunny was, I think, the only one to get it the whole night.
Yeah, well, okay, they've been doing that for Austin Theory too, right? I mean, his is more like an up close behind the back shot. Bad Bunny was more of a wide, kind of showing the whole arena coming alive for him. But yeah, you brought up a good point. The setup too, WWE outside of WrestleMania, they've been reliant on the big jumbo screen that we've seen on Raw and SmackDown now for almost a couple years now, ever since they came back post pandemic. Return to a live audience was at July 2021. The new set is literally just a big jumbo screen, which, good or bad, it's very clean. You can have big graphics and logos displayed, so it's like visually like amazing. It's like a huge movie screen. But at the same time, it can be kind of boring as far as that's it. There's no like special configured set, anything like that. But here for Puerto Rico, for Backlash and SmackDown, they didn't have that full big screen, which I don't know why. Maybe they want to have more. They're able to get more seats in. More people were able to have a seat and sit down. But maybe just that arena didn't have the full configuration to allow it. I'm not sure. But I liked it how the entranceway, they had they surrounded the entranceway with just a bunch of different big screens, but they're not as big as the big one.
Right.
But then it's almost like, was it Royal Rumble?
Rumble SummerSlam,
where they kind of walk out and they got to make a curve out. So it's kind of cool because so when they walk out, they're walking through the crowd, kind of the feeling. So I really enjoyed that presentation. So going back to Bad Bunny, him walking down the aisle, the entire all Puerto Rico are cheering him on. So I really enjoyed that too. And to me, that's also feels like an old throwback, especially in the 80s and 90s, but 90s, Stone Cold WrestleMania 14 coming to the walking down the aisle to get to the ring for his match with Shawn Michaels.
In that corner.
When you come walk in and you make that turn and you're just coming to the ring. I love that. So overall, Backlash, like I said, all that aspects of the presentation was amazing. So
I was also going to say real quick too that Triple H and Nick Khan and whatever WWE has been doing with the pay-per-views. I mean, we've seen with Backlash, we talk about how, normally it's a B-level pay-per-view. It's, it's not really highlighted. It wasn't supposed to be that good, right? But if you look, I would say 4 out of the 5 big pay-per-views, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, like now Survivor Series, and now you can add Money in the Bank in that. 4 out of those 5 are done in stadiums, right? And then we saw Survivor Series. It was in? I mean, you can.
It was in Boston, right? Yeah,
Boston. You could do Boston or Chicago. So Survivor Series is going to be held in one of those big cities, right? Obviously, with Elimination Chamber more recently being in Montreal, somewhere. You know what I'm saying? So it seems like a trend's going on. Maybe we'll start to get more of the B-level or lower-level pay-per-views because those won't be in stadiums. Maybe those will be more international or, overseas type thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. And I saw this on Instagram. It was a great question. So out of these 3 shows that I'll list off, which one had the best crowd? So Clash at the Castle, that was in Cardiff. Elimination Chamber in Montreal, or Backlash in Puerto Rico. Out of those 3, which had the best crowd? Now, granted, these, I don't want to say international because, like I said, Puerto Rico is technically U.S. territory, but it's off the main continent, off North America or on the island. So out of those 3, which one's the best crowd? I mean, I've my answer, but to hear yours.
I'll have to go Backlash, Puerto Rico.
Yeah, and that's mine too.
And that's only because they were loud from beginning to end, right?
Yeah.
Like you have Clash of the Castle, those are probably longer shows too, but depending on what match it was kind of up and down, or very, very at the beginning, just super, super electric. And then, towards the end, it was just all right, we're getting a little tired. And Puerto Rico didn't get tired at all. They were, and I was a little worried because, they didn't have Bunny and Priest go on in the main event, even though they said double main event.
That's another question I'll get into. Yeah. But
go on a main event. I was a little worried. I was like, so are they going to care about Cody and Brock Lesnar? You know, like, are they going to even care? Like, are they going to leave? Like, you know, because if, you know, honestly, if I was mad about, but I'm leaving, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I don't really care about this match. You know, we know, at least what I thought, you know, Brock Lesnar is going to smash Cody Rhodes anyways, you know, but I'm sure we'll get into it.
Okay, so yes, I'm with you. I think Backlash was the best crowd because it was nonstop energy and reaction from them. Clash of the Castle, they were loud, but yeah, it was kind of up and down like waves. And then Montreal they were great too, but really the emphasis was on Sami Zayn. I think the anticipation for Sami Zayn, that was kind of it. But you kind of brought up a great point as far as they call it a double main event. Bad Bunny, Damian Priest, street fight, and then Cody and Brock Lesnar. So double main event. Now looking back in hindsight, did you like that order of Bad Bunny was what, third to last versus Cody and Brock were last? Me looking back on it now, the Bad Bunny match should have been last.
Yeah.
Just based on that reaction and the way, even how that match ended with all of LWO and honoring members now standing in the ring, Bad Bunny on their shoulders. That was a really good feel good moment. That should have been the last shot of the night of the pay-per-view. That I think should have been last, but I'm guessing why it wasn't last of the element of unknown. As far as you got Bad Bunny, who is a celebrity, he's not a full-time wrestler. There's that element of unknown of you don't know if this person's going to deliver or not or perform well.
Right.
For all we know, he could have had since he's not a full-time wrestler, his match could have been really bad. Yeah. And you don't want to end the show on that note. Yeah. Versus going with Cody and Brock, who are two professionals, two of your main eventers, week in, week out, have them go last. You know, that's a guarantee going to be a good match. So I think that's why Bad Bunny and Damian Priest didn't go last, just because you don't know if it's going to work out or not. But, you know, in the end, it was a great match. It turned out great. And we'll talk more about the match itself in a little bit. But now in hindsight, it's easy to say, oh, yeah, that should have been last. But I think it's just the element of the unknown of how the celebrity, in this case, Bad Bunny, was going to perform. So, all right, well, let's talk about the matches itself. So 7 matches on the card. The opening match was Bianca Belair defending the Raw Women's Championship against Io Sky. Both of them now members of SmackDown. So I hope they don't do a title switch and just hand the belts off to one another. I just hope they just rename the titles. Like make Bianca's title on SmackDown the WWE Women's Championship and make Rhea Ripley's on Raw the I don't know, WWE Women's Universal Championship. I don't know, something like just rename them, give them new designs. Hopefully that's in the books. I know that was like a rumor on some of the Twitter pages out there, but who knows? But this match, almost 20 minutes, about 18 minutes long. This match was a lot of fun. And man, that Puerto Rican crowd love Io Sky. I was shocked. Io Sky, who's the heel in this match, the crowd loved her. She delivered. Bianca Belair, they cheered her on early on. But then kind of were booing towards the end a little bit. So, what do you think of how this match played out here?
So, I liked the match. I enjoyed the energy. Io Sky, I'm not gonna lie, this was a big moment for her. She hasn't really had one this big, especially, you know, her coming out by herself, opening up a premium live event without Dakota Kai and Bayley by her side. It was just all eyes on her and Bianca Belair. I know that the build for this match was probably lackluster to some people, but they delivered, man. I really enjoyed Bianca Belair still. Every match she's been in post Damage Control feud, right? Like with her and Asuka and Alexa, she's really been trying to, like, they've really done a great job with making her look strong, like putting her up against people who have like shown a threat to her, right? Like you really, like, I almost thought Io Sky was going to win the Raw Women's Championship. I was like, there's no way. And I know that we got the interruption or the interference by Bailey and Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
Right. But man, like up until the point where I saw that Bailey was holding the braid down.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see that at first. I was like, no way. She's going to hit the moonsault. She's going to win. Like, what a way to kick off the show. Right. But, yeah, man, even though Io didn't win, it was still a really good match, still a feel-good moment. The fans still cheered Bianca even after, they gave her props. She's now the longest reigning
women's champion of the modern era.
Yes, that's right.
They've been the last week they've been throwing out the term modern era a lot for Gunther, for Bianca Belair, Usos have it all time now, I think, at this point. But
they want you to forget everybody else.
Forget about the 60s, 70s, 80s, even 90s. It's all about the 2000s. Only the last 23 years matter now.
Yep. I love the match though. Bianca Belair, one thing that stood out to me, it's just her crazy athleticism. I mean, she continues to kick it up a notch every single match, every opponent. The only thing that worries me is, okay, we got to see Io Sky. She was getting cheered. At what point do you either turn Bianca Belair heel or stop putting her up against, fan favorites who they're heels, right? But, they're fan favorites. So a lot of people love them anyways, right? Like Io Sky, she's a heel right now, but a lot of people really think that she deserves to be in the title picture. She deserves to be in that top spot. And so, I'm curious to what they're going to do with that going forward.
You brought up a good point there as far as with Io, she's someone that's been in WWE for a while now. Mm-hmm. People know she can work. They love her body of work. Mm-hmm. Even though she's a heel, you want to see her succeed, especially this is her first big moment for the company on the big stage. Mm-hmm. And so hence why the crowd was cheering for her so much. They're like, oh my God, we want to see her accomplish this big feat here. Unfortunately, you're dealing with someone who's on now becoming, like a lot of people were saying, the John Cena of the women's division, Bianca Belair, who's doing great things. She's such a great role model, a spokesperson for the company, puts on amazing matches, her athleticism. She is the total package that WWE or any wrestling company would look for in a champion. So it's a lose-lose situation because you have something in Bianca and you want to keep that going, but then you have an opponent in Io who a lot of people love as well. So I get what you're saying. It's like, what do you do in this situation? Does Bianca eventually go heel to freshen things up? Because I do worry, like John Cena, when someone is like a baby face that is too dominant for an extended period of time, people start turning. They think it gets stale. They've
done two fan favorites in a row in Asuka and Io Sky. So I'm just like, I don't know. They've got to start putting her up against some heels to get people 100% back behind Bianca. It's funny. You called it a John Cena. Just real quick, I just want to comment, like, it must be hard for Bianca Belair, especially in this position right now, right? Like, because I'm thinking, man, she's been on a roll. Like I feel like she's been on top for like a few years now, right? Like even going back to WrestleMania, was it WrestleMania
with Sasha? So that was over 2 years ago now. It's 2021.
Yeah. And so I'm just like, man, like I know that they probably want to get as much usage out of her, right? Mm-hmm. Like you said, John Cena-esque, right? Like they want to get as much because I'm pretty sure she's going to take a long break whenever she loses the championship. I'm pretty sure she's going to want to break. Because she does all the interviews, all the talk shows, all the media, all the interview, everything. She does it all. And even when we saw her at the press junket, right? Yeah. Like she was there for so long, on her feet, like just talking to everybody. Like she didn't even look tired. I know she was tired, but she didn't even look tired. She was just so locked in, so committed to the job and of being a champion. So I just would hate for right now, especially when she has all the momentum in the world, for the fans to turn on her like that.
No, and that's not fair. And that's just a criticism for fans in general, wrestling fans, as far as you have a good thing, but you always want to like turn on it quickly.
Yeah.
The fans are fickle. Like, goes back to Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan was ahead of his time, calling out the fans. You guys are fickle. You got a good thing here. You don't know how to appreciate it and respect it. And so I agree with him. Like, back then when Daniel Bryan said that, I was like, I agree with him. It's true. You have a good thing with Bianca Belair. Now, in retrospect, you had a great thing with John Cena.
Yeah.
Like, literally, he was the Hulk Hogan of this generation. You had a great thing. And in the moment, I think you got to learn to enjoy it, because it's not going to be around forever. I'm fortunate that I got to see John Cena wrestle many times in the Bay Area whenever whenever WWE came through. And I never booed him. I just stood there, watched him from the entrance, his matches. So I'm very lucky. I got to see him a lot.
I got my headbands and armbands.
Yeah, but I'm happy I got to see him a lot. And like, he was on top for like a decade. So anytime they came to the Bay Area, I was lucky enough to see him. So I'm very fortunate. I always have that in my adult wrestling fandom years. But but going back to Bianca, you're right. She is a very special talent, and I think the fans need to take a moment and appreciate this. It's not going to be around forever. Especially with WWE, they got the Performance Center, they got NXT. There's a lot of talent that just called up. She's not going to be on top forever. So enjoy this moment now. Don't turn on her. Don't boo her. Now, the creative is one thing. That's a whole nother discussion. But the person itself, the work they put in and what they deliver, it's amazing. Like this match itself. I like the ring psychology. Now, Io did her part. Amazing spots to her athleticism. The psychology of working Bianca's arm, her left arm, beating it up, working on it. But then Bianca trying to show feats of strength of like, what's it called? Full body press slam over her head, trying to use both arms, but her left arm was hurting. So she was carrying Io literally with one arm. And it's a little scary spot where she dropped Io. Io kind of fell on her face. But I think the realism that like her arm, she can only hold her up for one arm for so much, but it was still impressive as hell. So that was cool. And then, as you said, the finish though, Bayley and Dakota come out. I didn't notice this, but I saw on Twitter, I guess Dakota was trying to stop Bayley, going, no, don't go out there. But Bayley on her own wanted to go out and help out her fellow Damage Control partner. And as you just kind of mentioned, ref has back turned. Dakota kicked Bianca, and then Io was going to go for the moonsault, but then Bayley tried to help out as well and grab Bianca's braid. The ref saw it, and that gave Bianca, or he told Bayley to get out. That gave Bianca enough time to recover. So when Io went for the moonsault, Bianca was able to roll and get out of the way. Then she hit the KOD for the win. So Bianca retains her championship. Now this is going to create some tension amongst Damage Control. We'll see how this plays out on SmackDown this week, because now the rosters post-draft are going to be fully set in place, as we saw on Raw this week, SmackDown. So we're going to see how this goes. So I like the idea. I'm happy that they didn't break Damage Control up in the draft. I think they realized, why just randomly break them up in the draft? Let's save this for like major story beats in the ring, storytelling wise on SmackDown. So I think it's the right move for that.
I saw someone say online that, if you look carefully, like, Bayley, if you look at how she was holding the braid in the position that she was at, it looked almost as if she wanted the referee to catch her, because
she purposely did it.
She was completely
so obvious.
Yeah, super obvious. So it'll be interesting to see how Io Sky feels about that, and just how Io Sky feels about just completely being replaced as Dakota's partner. With Bayley being now Dakota's partner and getting a tag team championship opportunity on Friday. So I'm interested in that. This is the last few weeks they found a way to kind of get people from talking about, they need to break Damage Control up already to I wonder how they're gonna break Damage Control up.
I think if anything, this is a big coming out party for Io, that the fans love her.
Yes.
And I could see she gets a babyface run out of this. Bailey goes on a major heel run here, attacking Io or whatever, and leads up to a feud between the two of them. Dakota's in the middle and maybe ultimately sides with Io, and she goes babyface as well. As we know, Bailey, she really is like the Bret Hart of this generation as far as she delivers great matches with every opponent. She's like the best dance partner in that ring. Some of Bianca's best matches last year were with Bailey. Bailey is an amazing wrestler. She always makes her opponent look good, delivers top tier matches. So her and Io, I already know it's going to be awesome matches there.
Bailey's got the full package, Huey. She's been great on social media. She's been great in promos, her facial expressions, right? Like I mean, she had people thinking a couple of weeks ago that she was unhappy. She was going to be leaving.
I get it. No, I get it. Like the goodbyes and the social media posts.
Yeah.
So, and even like the little details, she had Io's name shaven in the back of her head that I didn't catch at first, but people saw photos online. So I was like, oh, that's cool. So they're going to drag this out into a bigger storyline, which is great. You need storylines outside of titles. I think sometimes the women's division gets stuck. Just the only storylines we see on TV has to involve a title. Therefore, there's not enough women getting representation in matches on TV.
Yeah.
So, you're going to have your A storyline involving the championship, but then get more women on TV involving just stories just between feuds. It doesn't need a title involved. So this could be a great women's feud on SmackDown moving forward that doesn't need a title. Bianca can be busy with her next opponent, and then this could be another great storyline, the B storyline for the women's division. So, all good stuff there. All right, next up, it was Seth freaking Rollins taking on Omos, a match that just was announced out of nowhere a couple weeks ago. A lot of people were like, where's the storyline? There's no storyline here. Brian, I don't know if you want to say, but you mentioned haters. It's a little hypocritical on haters' part because other company likes to throw matches together unannounced or just announce out of nowhere. So please explain.
Also, another thing I thought of, if people were looking for story, it was literally right there. MVP, he literally explained that. And if you look at if anyone watches the video package video packages that they play back, Omos and MVP chose Seth Rollins. He's a former champion, right? He's had all these accomplishments in WWE. That's who he chose because of who he is. The same thing went for Brock Lesnar. You can argue and say the same thing maybe for even Braun Strowman, right? These are all three of them are all former champions, have all been at the top in the company so if you really just look at a certain pattern here, Omos is just a big guy who is gonna pick, and he's got MVP in his corner. MVP is sort of acting like Omos's Paul Heyman, right? His advocate, right? And look,
getting deals done.
He's getting deals done. He's gonna get Omos the big matches, the biggest matches that are out there. We're not gonna see too many Omos for the Intercontinental Championship or the United States. I won't be surprised if Omos somehow gets a shot at Roman and the Undisputed Universal Championship. And I know a lot of people are going to hate that and say, oh my God, Vince, but it would make sense though. Like, I mean, why not? Yes, he doesn't have a very good win-loss record, but if we're talking about anybody on this planet who, from a fighting perspective, right, who is believable, right, to win these matches, to be in these matches? Omos being what, 7'3" or whatever, old 400 pounds. I would believe in real life that someone like Omos could beat someone like Roman Reigns, and and Roman Reigns hasn't gone up again. I know I'm going off the rocker here. We're talking about Omos and Seth Rollins, but you get what I'm saying, right? Seth Rollins was next on Omos's list. This is a guy who, beat Brock Lesnar, right? Yeah. And so if you really think about it, I just lost to Brock Lesnar, but if Omos were to get a victory over Seth Rollins, what does that say about Omos? And what does that say? Come on, man. It made sense to me. And I know a lot of people didn't like it. They were out there saying, oh, where's the story? But listen, there's a lot of stuff that happens on AEW specifically where you just get these random matches between people from different companies or independent talent that come in and have big matches against guys like Moxley and Kenny Omega and the Young Blood, everybody. These big matches. I'm like, who is this person? Right? The majority of people online. Who is this person? They're getting big matches against the champion Jericho. Come on. And we're mad that Omos is getting a match with Seth Rollins and saying, where's the story? The story's right there. I won't go as far, Huey, as to say I'm an Homo sapien.
Yeah, you don't want to be like Phil.
No, I won't.
Jesus.
I won't say that, but I do want to put a little bit of respect on Omos's name, especially after this match he had with Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah.
I knew it. I said when the match was announced, I said Seth Rollins is going to give Omos his best match.
And and you're right. This was Omos's best match to date in WWE. And I want to give Omos credit. Now, he lost to Seth Rollins, but his presentation, his in-ring psychology in this match was great. Mm-hmm. As far as he played the role of a big giant, as far as Seth was trying to go for a curb stomp and he couldn't push Omos down. Omos caught him on his neck and looked at him like, you're not pushing me down. Yep. And what was the other big giant feat he did in this match? It was, I know the curb stomp was one thing. And then, hit a choke slam on the apron. It was the pedigree, right? Didn't he try to do, let's see, block the stomp? I'm just looking at my notes here. But, Omos showed, that's what the other thing. When he had Seth Rollins, he was listening to the crowd. He was interacting with the crowd. Yeah. So this is your guy. I'm beating the crap out of him, this little puny small guy. So I like Omos.
He even took a frog splash and kicked out at one.
That's what it is. Yes, that was it. That was it. Yeah.
What?
So to his credit, he showed being a giant in the WWE world what you can do as far as counters and defense and even his offense. So I give Omos credit. Everything he did in this match was great. Now, sure, he lost. Ultimately, Rollins hit a couple stomps, and then the third one he did off the turnbuckle, right? Yep. Mm-hmm. So he had to go extra high up to really go falling down that curb stomp on Omos. So he had to go over, he had to over deliver to take out Omos. So Omos still looks strong in defeat here. Definitely. Now, Seth Rollins, we'll talk more about Seth, what happened on Raw this week, the fallout. But I'm with you. Omos, great match here. So
and Seth Rollins looked like he enjoyed being in there with Omos too. You know how sometimes you can tell when the wrestlers enjoy being in there with one another? I mean, Seth, because Seth was performing too. Seth Rollins could have easily went out there and been mad. I should be, competing for the title right now, blah, blah, blah. But no, he went out there and he made Omos look great. And Omos did a great job too of making himself look great, making Rollins. They both did a really great job.
Absolutely. All right. Next up, the triple threat match for the U.S. title. Unfortunately, I don't know about you, I think this was the most underwhelming match of the night for multiple reasons. Mm-hmm. I was really looking forward to this match. Unfortunately, didn't deliver. And it was the shortest match. It was barely 7 minutes. It was 650 long. Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley, Bronson Reed. And it didn't last that long. It didn't tell a whole lot in the ring. And the finish of this match got kind of spoiled because they were in Europe the weekend before and they were working that triple threat match over in Europe on the house shows, which is normal in pro wrestling, especially WWE. If you have a big pay-per-view match coming up, those two opponents or three opponents, whatever it is, will work the house shows together and kind of work on their chemistry, in-ring chemistry together, kind of work out their rhythm, what kind of spots they want to do and finish they want to do. So ultimately what they did at the house shows last weekend, the finish played out here, which was pretty much, it was Lashley took a super kick and a dive to the outside before Theory lifted Bronson Reed in the ring, but failed to hit a slam. Theory dodged the moonsault from Bronson Reed. Lashley came in with another spear on Bronson Reed. Then Austin Theory threw Bobby Lashley outside the ring and got the pin. So ultimately that's what they did in Europe on the house shows. Was Bronson Reed did the moonsault on Bobby Lashley, then speared Bronson Reed, and then Theory threw Bobby out and then got the pin. So that finish was like telegraphed. So if you were paying attention to the house show results, you kind of saw this coming. So underwhelming. Bronson Reed ate the loss here, so which I guess is okay because he's the one that stayed on Raw while Austin Theory and Bobby Lashley are going to SmackDown. Yeah. For me personally, I love that Bobby Lashley's going to SmackDown. Austin Theory, though, I don't know, man. U.S. champion. I know a lot of people are kind of getting critical of his title reign right now. It just seems a little lackluster from a character standpoint. I hope going to SmackDown, a little fresh change of scenery.
Yeah.
That's yet to be seen yet. Maybe we can save that discussion for a later time. I know we're running long here, but yeah, match was kind of underwhelming. What, any other thoughts you had about this one?
It should have been Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed. I think a lot of people were more excited about that feud that was brewing up, and especially if you were going to split them up in the draft, at least give us that one-on-one match at the pay-per-view. They had
that one match on Raw a couple weeks ago. And it was okay, but now come to find out, Bronson Reed was battling the flu that night, so he was moving a little slow that night. And he revealed on Twitter that he was sick, and that's why he wasn't as on top of his game there. But so now we're not gonna get a full blow off match between the two of them. But I hope Bronson Reed on Raw can go on a big tear now on his own. Next up for the SmackDown Women's Championship, Rhea Ripley defending against Zelina Vega. Short match here as well, 7 minutes, 10 seconds. I was really surprised how short it was. The big takeaway here was Zelina Vega's moment, how awesome that was, how incredible that was. Her entrance alone and the ring announcement, for me, it was just a reminder why I love pro wrestling, the emotions involved. Zelina Vega looked like $1 million. I know she's from Queens, New York, but she is Puerto Rican descent. And so coming out in literally like a human Puerto Rican flag, it was awesome. Ring gear, the arm stuck out, and she had the Puerto Rico flag on her, and her ring colors were red, white, and blue. And the crowd was just cheering her on so much. It was incredible. And then the ring announcement for her, the crowd was just cheering her. They got so loud, and you saw the emotions on her face. She was tearing up. That raw emotion you can't take away. And her family sitting ringside cheering her on. I'm just glad we got to witness arguably probably it's her career highlight moment right there. Hands down. Unless she wins like a world title at WrestleMania or something, I don't think anything could top that ever. So
I mean, hell of a run for Zelina Vega. I mean, we're talking Queen's Crown, right? Women's tag team champion, defending the titles, right? At WrestleMania. And then now having this moment with Rhea Ripley in Puerto Rico, I mean, a lot of people can have their opinions about Zelina Vega and you know how her career has gone since her departure and her coming back to WWE, and then ever since she came back hasn't really been like explosive or anything like that. But I mean, I would say it's all worth it. Getting a moment like that, you know, win, lose, or draw, it's totally worth it, especially against someone like Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley's on fire right now, and
Rhea Ripley's on a whole new level now. It's this character change, a little bit adjustment, join the Judgment Day. she's at a whole new level right now.
Yeah.
Like that. I don't know. Like it just shows from a social media standpoint, like our video clips, our interview with her were the best performing ones. Like people love Rhea Ripley. They just want to see her. And this match though was great as far as, you know, Zelina smaller versus Rhea, like the big giant compared to her. It was like that psychology there of like Zelina taking a beating at first, but making a big comeback. Ultimately, Rhea Ripley, those just cut off. We're going home now. Like, you know, Zelina got the 619 into Meteora for a near fall, but then Ripley got up, just hit the riptide on her for the win. And then Rhea, get to her credit, she got out of the ring quickly and let Zelina have that moment, the crowd cheering her after the match. That was great. So just happy for Zelina and get that moment, especially on SmackDown as well. Her and Ray teaming up against Dom and Rhea, and then Bad Bunny coming out at the end for the save of the LWO. And that photo, all of them in the ring on SmackDown. So Zelina got two chances to perform from the Puerto Rico crowd there, and so that was just happy for her.
I feel like this match, a lot of people didn't really like. They were like, "Oh, Zelina should have won." And I feel like this match specifically, it felt very much like any championship match in any sport, right? Like you have the veteran now, Rhea Ripley, right? The almost like the undefeated veteran, like back-to-back champion, and then you have Zelina Vega, who is, you know, the underdog, the sleeper, right? Like no one ever expected Zelina Vega to be in this position. And she
let say like the Golden State Warriors versus
yes, that's perfect.
I was like, wait, who'd the Warriors beat last time? I know they got a couple against Cleveland. Oh, Celtics, yes.
You can
Celtics.
say Boston. Yeah,
there we go.
You know, you know, they kind of let the emotions get the best of them. And because even especially at the end, you could tell Zelina, the emotion just set in. It was like, oh my God, I'm here, I'm gonna do it. And then Rhea Ripley just put her away instantly. That kick to the head and then the riptide. I mean, she slammed her so hard. I was like, oh my goodness. And then pinned her with authority, right? Like that. That's stuff like that is what I want in a championship match. Like when you see because the champion, you know, you lose focus, but then the champions, we snap back into it. It's like, all right, you know what? Let me put this away. I don't know why this shouldn't even be going on that long. Yeah. She's probably like, you're smaller than me. You don't have the strength like I do. I'm ending this now. And that's kind of cool. I know it seemed very abrupt and sudden, but I get it from a psychology standpoint. She's like, you're a bug compared to me. I'm going to squash you right now and end this. So I get it. And I think that just reinforces Rhea Ripley's presentation of this dominant force in WWE. So I'm all for that. All right. Next up, it was Bad Bunny taking on Damian Priest, San Juan street fight. I love the press conference the day before that Friday. They had the face off with Triple H. Damian pushed Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny fell, man. Like, I don't know if that was planned or like Damian maybe didn't know his strength, but Bad Bunny went flying. Triple H like pushed him back, like, hey. Yeah. I was trying to read Triple H's body language, like, dude, don't hurt the celebrity before the match. Like, but then again, he had like a little smirk though, because it's, you know, he's like, this guy is not a wrestler. He's not one of us. So I was trying to read Triple H's body language in that moment of like, is he trying to tell Damian like, dude, don't hurt our big, you know, celebrity for this match, but also at the same time, he's not one of us. Like, good job pushing him hard, extra hard there. Then Bad Bunny slapped him and then ran off. Well, I was like, but it was like a soft slap. It looked like so. But I love that press conference. It really added more fuel to the fire. And like we talked earlier, his entrance alone was amazing. Just that drone shot from behind, seeing the whole crowd erupt. But Bad Bunny, to his credit, maybe because he is a performer, he's an entertainer, he's a musician, he's an artist. His walk to the ring, even on SmackDown with the jacket, even though he had that WWF logo on, it was like, no, don't wear that.
but he comes he knows how to walk to the ring and just absorb the crowd. He's like on stage.
Yeah.
I love he came walking out. His timing, he paused, took it in, and it's like, wait a sec, I got something else. He just had the one kendo stick that Savio Vega gave him earlier in the night with the Puerto Rican flag on it. He stopped, went back, and revealed a shopping cart full of weapons. And as we know, Puerto Rico is known for their hardcore wrestling. So the crowd erupted even more. Like, he's coming prepared to fight. So just the entrance alone was awesome.
Yes, it was great, man. I noticed his walk to the ring even when he showed up on Raw.
Yeah.
To challenge Priest to the match, to make the match official. I noticed his walked in. I was like, oh man. And I just kept saying it. I even told Cindy, my wife, I was like, oh my God, like he's into it. Like he really,
he's invested.
Yeah. He's a WWE superstar. Like he's really locked into that mode. Like he believes it. You know, it's hard. I'm sure it's hard, you know, for a lot of people, especially from the outside, come in and, you know, you can play and act like it, but no, like Bad Bunny, like he is it. Like he's out there, like you said, that walk. And then when he's went to the camera and he did his little thing, you know, he put his pinky fingers on his face and then the pyro went off. And he said, hold on. And he turned around. I'm like, oh man, he's got it all.
He just knew how a natural as far as to take it in, the timing, to wait for crowd reaction, to then take things to the next level. But also kudos to Damian Priest. He's the perfect heel in this situation. And you can argue he's the MVP of the night. Like he made Bad Bunny look like $1 million. He worked with him for the most part, kept it safe for Bad Bunny. Having that street fight angle was good because, you know, Bad Bunny's not a technical wrestler. So using the weapons was a good way to cover that up. And Bad Bunny, to his credit, like at first, the match in the beginning was a little slow. Like I thought Damian, he was like not getting any offense in. He was like almost toying with Bad Bunny, but Bad Bunny was just kept like hitting him. And I was like, oh, is Damian going to get some offense in at all? Or is he just going to be nice and let Bad Bunny look good? But no, then sure enough, things started picking up and Damian started to lay into him. Like Bad Bunny had the trash can and Damian Priest kicked him. Like he stomped him in the like, whoa, okay. And then he hit the you know, they were on top of the boxes and they went through the table. It was oh my God, a Falcon Arrow.
Michinoku driver.
Or Michinoku driver. Yeah. On the outside, on the tables. Like, that was an amazing spot. Like, so Bad Bunny took some big spots in this match. And
huge.
Was a hit to sliced bread as well. Like, and then at one point, Bad Bunny put Damian in the figure 4, which a lot of people don't know. It's not, you know, only Ric Flair to use Colon. In Puerto Rico, Carlito's dad used that move as a finisher as well. So the figure 4 is symbolically a big move in Puerto Rico, submission hold. And I think he even hit it on Ric Flair once when they had a match in Puerto Rico years ago. So the figure 4 means a lot in Puerto Rico. So it's this match over delivered. It was a lot of fun. It was overbooked, but the overbooked part was even made it more fun. I mean, as we talked earlier, Judgment Day came out, Dom and Finn came out, but then LWO came out. Savio Vega came out first, and then brought the rest of LWO, and they started fighting. And then Carlito came out. Dude, so happy for him, his pop, because now his Royal Rumble return, that was
in the Performance Center,
Thunderdome era,
Thunderdome.
He didn't get the big crowd reaction, but this one, he always pulled a Jeff Hardy. Like he stopped to take it up, but then he's like, oh, I gotta keep running. So he came running out, did a twirl, like to look at the crowd, like like half a second, just take it all in, and then he started running. So I give Carlito credit, like. You're making the save. You got to bust your ass running to the ring, and he did that.
Yeah, definitely.
But you know, had the apple, spit it in was it Dom's face?
Yep.
And then for the actual finish itself, you know, we saw God, there's so much that happened in this match. But yeah, Bad Bunny countered the South of Heaven. and sidestep spear, letting Priest eat a steel chair in the corner. That's right. They had that set up earlier in the match.
Oh, a hard shot too.
Yeah, and then Bad Bunny hit the Canadian Destroyer, picked up the win. Which, like, I see a lot of people, should we still call it the Canadian Destroyer? Should we call it the Puerto Rican Destroyer now? The Bad Bunny Destroyer? But this match was so much fun. And then posing afterwards, getting Bad Bunny on the shoulders of the LWO. And he put on the shirt Friday night on SmackDown. So he's like an honorary member of LWO. And dude, those t-shirts are probably going to sell.
Fantastic.
They're selling crazy. Yeah.
Such a good idea to bring the LWO back, especially for, that moment at Backlash and even before on SmackDown having Bad Bunny. I don't know why I didn't think of that. Like, I didn't think like, oh, wow, he hasn't put the LWO shirt on until SmackDown, right? I was like, wow, like that's a big deal,
That's right, because in LA or the week before WrestleMania, Ray gifted Legado del Fantasma the shirts.
Yep.
And that was the start there. And then they acknowledged Bad Bunny at WrestleMania. He got involved in Dom and Ray's match, took the chain from Dom. But yeah, no, he officially put on the shirt. So, dude, you're getting Bad Bunny seal of approval. Dude, that shirt's going to sell even more now. Oh, yeah. So, and they got two versions. They got the Mexico colors. Yep. They got Puerto Rico colors now. So, oh, my God, that's amazing. And,
so crazy. And I don't know if you saw the Legado del Fantasma, Zelina Vega. They all got matching LWO tattoos.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
Wow. That is really cool. And
that's
then
super cool.
For me, like I said, I've grown to love Bad Bunny just out of respect for him being a full-time, not full-time, but being a serious performer in the ring. Two-part here. One, I'm glad they kind of made like a long-term story because him and Damian teamed up 2 years ago and they were kind of that. I think this long-term story was able to kind of come together nicely as far as the feud and stuff, and then both being from Puerto Rico, all that stuff. But the question is, who's the better celebrity wrestler, Bad Bunny or Logan Paul? Like,
I don't know, they're very close. I mean, one's bigger, one's smaller, but in terms of like how serious they both take it, the athleticism
goes to Logan Paul. Don't get me wrong, like he's the type of guy who picked it up quickly and he can like wrestle and like do big spots and look like he's been wrestling for years. Yeah. Bad Bunny, to his credit, he's more about the presentation, the gimmick, the in-ring psychology, his facial expressions. So that stuff gets me more emotionally caught up in the match. Yeah. Like Logan Paul watching him like, whoa, that was a cool move he did there. Whoa, that was nice to see him fly there. But Bad Bunny watching him, I'm like, yeah, like hit Damian Priest. Like I get more emotionally caught up with Bad Bunny. So, if I had my choice, I'd rather watch a Bad Bunny match than Logan Paul at this point. So
I want to say credit real quick to because you mentioned it earlier, Damian Priest, not even just for his participation and his professionalism in this match with Bad Bunny, but even before, like at WrestleMania a few years ago, him, helping Bad Bunny, fighting alongside Bad Bunny. But you got to give that credit to even The Miz and him working closely with Logan Paul in the beginning, right? And then you got to give the credit to Sami Zayn with his participation with Johnny Knoxville, Kevin Owens with Stone Cold, how important that was. I feel like all these guys have really, I feel like Priest just got his big moment, right? Kind of like I don't know, not like a thank you, but like appreciation, right? For being put in that situation of teaming alongside Bad Bunny. I know for a long time, this match between the two, I'm sure for him is a long time coming. Like, man, if we can do something with Bad Bunny, if me and him can get in the ring, or if I could, that's, I'm sure that's something he thought about.
Well, I hope Damian Priest, for his performance and professionalism, as you just said, I hope he gets rewarded. Like Sami Zayn did that goofy match with Johnny Knoxville last year, which was very entertaining at WrestleMania. Don't get me wrong. But you look what happened the next year. He became the most over person in the company. So I hope Damian Priest to a certain extent gets that reward as well. He gets pushed, gets some great creative, and becomes maybe a main eventer at some point, especially now you got that world title on Raw. You're going to have a lot of guys on that Raw roster going after that title now, and you got to have fresh opponents and different combos of matches there. So I hope Damian Priest gets elevated as a reward for his work with Bad Bunny. So I think Damian Priest, I hope he gets the Sami Zayn treatment for the next year. So
for sure.
I'm with you on that one. But and the thing too, like, I don't fully understand. Like I said, I'm not like in that hip hop world. I don't fully understand how big of a star Bad Bunny is. I have over the last couple of years. He's been working with WWE,
right?
But I'm starting to see how big of a following is, how much people love him and his music. I saw a meme yesterday. I don't know if it was Phil that shared. I don't know if you saw it. To kind of put in perspective of Bad Bunny working with WWE. Imagine Michael Jackson working a match with Shawn Michaels in 1993. Did you see that meme?
I did.
So that, I guess for me and maybe any older wrestling fans who don't know who Bad Bunny is or fully understand his reach, I guess that's the best way to kind of describe it. Yeah. Bad Bunny working with Damian Priest or working whatever match in WWE is equivalent to like Michael Jackson working 30 years ago, if hypothetically speaking. So I was like, oh, okay. I get it now. So
definitely, that's good.
Yeah, a lot of fun here. No, kudos to everyone involved. It was so much fun. All right, 6-man tag match: The Bloodline taking on Riddle, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn. This match was more about just the tension between the Bloodline and where Solo's head at. Is he fully aligned with Roman Reigns? And we have been teasing the idea that Paul Heyman's been secretly telling him to take out the Usos because the Usos been screwing up. They lost the titles, the tag titles at WrestleMania.
They didn't win them back.
Solo, I guess, as the heavy for Roman Reigns, he's got to take out his own brothers, and so there's that tension there. The match itself was fine. Sami Zayn was getting the beat down. That's kind of been the MO for Kevin Owens Sami Zayn matches, tag matches. Like Sami gets the beating, Kevin gets the hot tag to make the saves the day. This match was a lot of fun though. But yeah, it was that tension there. I don't know. How do you think this match played out here?
Yeah, first time in a long time that the Bloodline, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens weren't really the hot topic, especially for a premium live event, right? But I felt like they still did a good job and staying true to themselves and their story and what they have going on. What stuck out to me was the moment where Solo Sikoa grabs Jay, right? And he's got the spike and he's looking like he's gonna spike Jay. And Jay's like, "What are you doing? He ain't your brother. I'm your brother." And I'm like, he kept saying he ain't your brother, and I'm like, is he talking about Roman? Right? Like that's because I mean, if they're not dumb, like they know what's going on. I'm sure they can feel the tension. Like you said, there's been tension. Solo is pretty much been directed to take care of the problem, right? If the Usos couldn't win the tag team titles back, then take care of it, which got interrupted obviously by Matt Riddle. Poor Matt Riddle, who is now 0-3 against Solo Sikoa.
He's just eating the pins here, man. The beat down and and then it's been a bad 24 hours for Riddle anyway of stuff leaked on Twitter of him. So I'll let you guys figure that out what I'm referring to. So I'm still, I know a lot of people are over the Bloodline story and kind of like, oh, I'm over it now. I'm still interested because now it's taking a turn. The tribal chief is going to be on SmackDown this week. And it's been has he shown up? No,
at all
since the Raw after Mania, we have not seen Roman Reigns.
Wow. So I'm interested to see because he's been at home, so he's seen everything going on.
Theoretically, yes, he should be watching everything that's been going on.
or at least hearing from Heyman what, I mean, Heyman seems like he's been on the phone with him more than anything.
That's always been like my one little gripe with wrestling, as far as someone who's not on TV for a while comes back and acts like they don't know what's happening. It's like, don't you watch week to week what's been going on?
Yeah.
Like, your family's falling apart here. There's trust issues. But you're the source of it, though.
I hope at some point he does bring up the fact that he's been watching, because we obviously know he has, because he even told, he told Jimmy Uso to stay home and watch. Remember that? He told him to stay home and watch, because sometimes you got to watch from different perspective, right? So I'm hoping he does come back and he sets order, or gives us, gives us a direction. And I mean, does he want Jimmy and Jay out of the bloodline now because they don't have the titles? Doesn't seem like they're getting title opportunity anytime soon. Obviously, Solo Sikoa was the one who got the pinfall in this 6-man tag match. So really, he got the victory. He also saved. He's also the reason why Roman Reigns is still undisputed Universal Champ, right? And Solo's proven that he's gonna get his get back. Cody Rhodes defeated him, ended his undefeated streak. I think Solo took it personal. I think it was a little bit more than just let me help Roman. He took it personal. He made sure Cody didn't get to finish the story, and now he's got this problem with his brothers. I hope Roman gives us some direction, and I hope we know what's gonna happen with this story.
It's gotta go. Yeah, it's gotta go. They gotta pick it up now. It's been far enough, 5 weeks post WrestleMania. They got to take things up a notch. But yeah, I like what you said as far as Solo felt someone behind him, grabbed him, and it was Jay, and he still threatened to use the spike on him, the thumb. And Jay was like looking at him, and like he was ready to do it, but then he stopped. And then, and as you said, Jay's like, I'm your brother. And then the tension as far as trying to tag each other in over and over. It's like, no, I want to do this. No, it's my turn. So there is tension being built up here. But the finish, though, like you said, Solo almost hit Jay with the Samoan spike after they stared down. Sammy came in from behind and attacked them before Riddle came in, hit the bro Derek on Jey Uso. Solo snuck in a tag before that move happened and hit the Samoan spike and picked up the win. So Bloodline still wins. Solo picks up the win for the team, so he can reinforce, like, you guys are screwing things up. I'm the one that's holding everything together here. So you guys are the issue. So we'll see how this plays out on SmackDown. I'm looking forward to it. And I'm glad Sammy and Kevin, their home is Monday Night Raw. But Michael Cole did say since they still have both tag titles, they can still appear on both shows. Yeah. But for the time being, it looks like they're going to have a fresh, clean start on Raw. Fresh opponents, which we did kind of see on Raw, where they're going to go with that, which is fine. Yeah. All right, main event real quick. We'll talk about this, and we'll talk about Raw real quick as well. Main event time, Cody Rhodes taking on Brock Lesnar here. A match that was a little bit longer for Brock Lesnar, but not super much longer. It was 9 minutes, 40 seconds. The main story here was, I want to ask you how this match was laid out and how it was executed. Cody attacked Brock before the bell, started beating him up.
Yep.
Took off the turnbuckle. Brock fell into it, busted his head open, started bleeding, which, WWE doesn't like blood anymore. So it was really weird how they were filming this match. They kept the camera shot anytime on the back of Brock's head, so you couldn't see the blood gushing down. I mean, there was a couple of moments it was just you couldn't miss it. Right. But they were so like, we're not going to show Brock's face covered in blood, I was like, come on, just show it. Yeah. But let me ask you, though, from the execution of this match, Cody, like I said, sneak attacking Brock, not very babyface-like theoretically. He was playing like the role of the heel a little bit here. What do you think how that was laid out there?
I agree. But I do like that Cody didn't waste any time, right? He had to get the advantage offensively early on Brock Lesnar. If you know Brock Lesnar, if you watch Brock Lesnar, you know that he likes to take his big walk around the ring right before he gets in. And if you you notice, if you pay attention weeks prior or night after WrestleMania, the last time Cody Rhodes, turned his back on Brock Lesnar and waited for Brock Lesnar to get settled in, he struck and he struck big, so
Good point.
I felt like Cody didn't want to wait for the bell to ring and wait and maybe give Brock Lesnar a chance to even try to intimidate Cody. He waited till Brock wasn't looking, had his back turned, dived on the outside and got to work, and which I thought, oh yeah, Brock Lesnar's gonna win.
Yeah, no, good point. No, I'm glad you brought that up. And for me, I always loved Cody as a babyface. He was always a very strong babyface. Like he wasn't gonna just sit back and take a beating. He'll strike first, especially in AEW. I will never forget. Remember when him and Chris Jericho were fighting? Yes. I love where Inner Circle were up in the suite at that one AEW show, and MJF was his buddy, his sidekick. He ran up there. MJF gave him his scarf. He wrapped around his hand, punched the glass window or door to go after Jericho at Inner Circle. I love how Cody Rhodes, as a strong babyface, is willing to go after someone. Yeah. So that's where I saw him attacking Brock first. That's where my mindset went. I know a lot of people didn't like that presentation. I think a lot of people thought it was going to be like Daniel Bryan versus Brock Lesnar, where he just takes a beating and then, Daniel Bryan, Brock Lesnar, Daniel Bryan took a bad beating, got some offense in, but Brock still won. I think in this situation, people thought, he'll get a beating, but maybe squeak out a victory at the end, which I don't know if that makes him fully look that strong as a babyface. I feel like it's almost kind of a lose-lose situation no matter what when you go up against Brock Lesnar. But the finish here, Cody got the Cody Cutter before he hit the crossroads twice for a near fall on Brock. Brock, like I said, bloody mess, just bleeding everywhere. Managed to get an F5 for a near fall. Cody kicked out of that. I was shocked. He kicked out of that F5. Cody was locked in with the Kimura lock, but managed to roll over and hold Brock down for the pin. So it wasn't like a decisive win for Cody. He just squeaked out the victory there.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people kind of complaining that it doesn't make you look strong. Well, spoiler alert, as we saw Monday Night Raw, this is far from over. So we can talk about Raw, but anything else from this match here that stood out? We can go ahead and jump into Raw as well.
No, yeah, I think it surprised me, that Cody won the way he won. I'm glad he won. It reminded me of just the feeling of it post, like when he rolled out of the ring and he went up the aisle there. It was just like,
after he won, he ran out the ring. That's right.
I was like, it kind of lets you know, okay, this isn't over. If anyone thought that Brock Lesnar was just going to let Cody win like that and we weren't going to see Brock anymore and he was going to just go on his little vacation, then you're crazy because
we got Saudi Arabia coming up, so that's a big payday for Brock. So he's definitely going to be involved. So all right, well, let's go ahead and jump about the fallout from Backlash on this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. So also at that press conference with Bad Bunny and Damian Priest, Triple H also did announce how the first ever or the new WWE World Heavyweight Champion was going to be crowned. We're going to have a tournament featuring Raw and SmackDown competitors, which a lot of people were kind of scratching their heads. Like Triple H announced this was going to be on the show opposite of Roman Reigns. Roman got drafted to SmackDown, so this is going to be the Raw title, the number one title there. But why have SmackDown competitors, which we can get into in a second. So it was 12 people announced: Finn Balor, Cody Rhodes, The Miz, Shinsuke Nakamura, Seth freaking Rollins, and Damian Priest. That's from Raw. Over on SmackDown, you had AJ Styles, Edge, Rey Mysterio, Austin Theory, Bobby Lashley, and Sheamus. And as we saw on Raw, the execution is opening round is going to be a triple threat, and the winner from that triple threat will face the winner of the other triple threat, and then the winner of that match will be in the finals, which will be fought at Night of Champions. So we got the outline for Raw. We saw how it's all played out. I do want to touch about Cody Rhodes, though. So he did start off Raw and said he does have his sights on the World Heavyweight title at Night of Champions. Cut this great promo. For me, it's great to hear this, but as I said before, I don't want him nowhere near this title. The WWE title, Roman Reigns is still his focus. That's the story he needs to finish. I'm glad he's in this tournament just for name value and notoriety and credibility for this tournament. I'm glad it played out the way it did. So let's talk about the tournament itself. So the triple threat match, the first one was Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura, Damian Priest. Seth Rollins picks up the victory here. He advances to the next round. How did you think about that opening match between the three of them?
It was good. It was good showing for Nakamura. Damian Priest continuing with the momentum he had with Bunny, so I liked it. It was really good. And Seth Rollins, of course.
I liked how Damian Priest was kind of limping out, showing the effects of still beat up from that match with Bad Bunny. Shinsuke, I'm surprised this is first time on Monday Night Raw. He's been on SmackDown, 7 years, all these years. And I love that he's got not necessarily repackaged, but he's made to feel special again. He's got his old NXT music. Triple H obviously loves him. He's going to make him a main event player, which I'm super happy for. I know he did eat the pin here from Seth, but that's fine. It's for the world title, so someone's going to lose.
If anything, I would have probably tweaked that a little bit because Damian Priest, I know, I mean, he's the one with the leg injury, so I feel like would have been probably a little better had he got pinned instead of Shinsuke. But I'm fine with Shinsuke getting pinned too. It's fine.
So the other triple threat, it was Finn Balor, Cody Rhodes, and The Miz. Cody has strong showing, but ultimately, as he hit the crossroads on The Miz, going for the 3 count, Brock Lesnar comes running out of nowhere, pulls Cody out, takes him out of the match. Finn hits the Coup de Grace on Miz, picks up the victory. Cody on the outside gets beat down by Brock Lesnar, F5 through the table, beating him down. So Finn moves on to the main event that night. Let's talk about Brock Lesnar here. He beats him up, has Cody holding him like a baby in his arms, and says, Cody, he's pissed off about what happened at Backlash. He's got stitches on his forehead from where he got busted open. And he says he wants to fight Cody at Night of Champions in a fight. So I thought this was a great way of getting Cody out of the tournament. And it just shows, like we just mentioned a few minutes ago, him and Brock are far from over. How do you think of this whole segment played out here?
It was great outside of the piped in boos or the piped in crowd boos, because I almost couldn't hear Brock, but I liked it. Brock did great, and that segment with the mic, the visual was amazing with the stitches. I mean, how often do you see Brock with stitches or staple? I don't know what they were, but like,
I was trying to look close. Yeah.
How often do you see that? You don't see that very often. So he was very beat up. And he's very mad, which in itself explains why I mean, I know a lot of people complained because it's like, why does Brock Lesnar want to fight Cody Rhodes? Well, we know why he wants to fight Cody now.
Yes,
we didn't know before, but we know for sure now why he wants to fight Cody.
Well, it's because he's mad. Well, now he's mad what happened at Backlash, but before that, I think they were alluding to, it wasn't confirmed, but like he's probably mad that Cody took his main event spot. So probably some jealousy there.
That's even what Cody's told
Kathy
Kelly.
In the backstage. Yeah. So, they're going to, I don't know what kind of fight. They said a fight at Night of Champions, Saudi Arabia.
I thought he was going to say fight pit.
See, that's the thing. Is it going to be a fight pit? Is it going to be a steel cage?
Yeah.
So I wonder what's going to happen. Do you think Brock's going to destroy him at Night of Champions? I know he's being booked kind of like John Cena post losing to The Rock, 2012. First opponent after was Brock Lesnar, like it is now for Cody. I wonder, will they have a third and final match, Hell in a Cell, at some point this summer? So
I feel like that's tough. It's tough. I would say, just because it's Brock Lesnar, but anything can happen now. I mean, I didn't expect Cody to win at Backlash at all. So, I mean, maybe Cody has some help.
Maybe. Yeah. We'll see.
To take down Brock.
We'll see. Main event was Seth Rollins taking on Finn Balor. Love this match. callback to obviously their match, 7 years ago, SummerSlam 2016, where they were in the finals for the crown, the first ever Universal Champion, which Finn ultimately won, but relinquished the next night on Raw because he was injured. So great callback here. Seth picked up the win, though, so he moves on to the finals already of the tournament. A couple things. Are you cool with this tournament concept? I was talking to a coworker of mine. He wished it was like a bigger deal, like you get 16 competitors and you stretch it out for a few weeks. I explained to him, I think the reason why between Raw and SmackDown this week, they're going to figure out the finalists right away. Is that way then they could promo it? Like next week, they could have from promos, segments against each other, start building up that feud.
Yeah.
Because it's less than 3 weeks away now, the pay-per-view, the premium live event. I get what he was saying. You have like a bigger tournament with more competitors and you stretch it out over a few weeks, not get it all done in 1 week. So are you cool with this tournament concept here?
Yeah, I'm cool with it. And another reason why too is because, a lot of people are, expecting Seth Rollins to be the World Heavyweight Champion. And if so, I like it better this way because we all know Seth. I mean, come on, he's the favorite to win now. The fact that
he's the Raw representative of this tournament, and it's supposed to be a Raw title. It's almost like telegraphing Seth is going to win this title now,
right? Unless the person from SmackDown does win, and I know everyone was in an uproar for SmackDown being involved in this in the first place.
Yeah,
that person could still get traded to Raw,
maybe traded to
Raw. I'm sure because Triple H did say it's a Raw exclusive title, so that person would have to go over to Raw anyways. But I agree. I don't see that happening. I think Seth Rollins will win. But yeah, I didn't have a problem with it. Honestly, I mean, it's 3 weeks away or something like that?
Yeah, less than 3 weeks now in the month. That's going to be a busy weekend for WWE and AEW. So Memorial Day weekend, you got Night of Champions, also NXT Battleground, and AEW Double or Nothing.
Yep.
All in that same weekend. So a lot of stuff to talk about. So, but yeah, Seth Rollins is in. I think give an early favorite from SmackDown. I kind of want to see maybe Edge, then him and Seth can go at it. I know we talked about early in the podcast that maybe Edge and Seth can reignite their old feud, but then Edge can say, hey, last time I had a championship, I had to drop it due to my injury and retire. So I want one back maybe. Rey Mysterio's so over right now. They can have him go at him and Seth do have history going back to the Performance Center days with the eyeball.
You know what you could do? You could do Austin Theory and Seth Rollins and kind of repeat kind of what Rollins did, teasing a double champion, right?
Yeah.
And Theory could say, hey, I'm going to be the World Heavyweight Champion and the United States Champion, sort of like how Seth was the United States Champion. And at one point, you know what I mean? Like you can kind of tease that. I don't know. Because I
would love to see Bobby
Lashley. Yeah.
I love Bobby, and I know he's been booked so strong over the last couple of years, very well protected. I just worry though they might not see him in that title picture. They rather have, I think he's better off as a future opponent for Roman, more believable. So I see in the triple threat here, he doesn't have to eat the pin, so they can just have him in the match, but for star power, but he's not going to advance after that. So sorry. So what you're saying, is it
possible? You think it's possible that someone from SmackDown gets taken out too?
What Brock did to Cody?
Maybe Dom beats up Ray so that he doesn't.
I'm not sure. I mean, well, we can talk about more. Next time we talk, we can talk after SmackDown happens and see where they're at now, the finals. So we'll see how that plays out. Real quick, just from Raw, what else happened? We just touch on Mustafa Ali, the free agent, showed up on Raw, took on Otis, picked up the win. Big win for him.
Wow.
But so I guess that's what a free agent, you just float around between brands whenever you want. So Ali doesn't have really much going on, so he just showed up here, but he got a win on TV. That's good for him. And then Rhea Ripley defeated Dana Brooke. Natty came out to challenge her or face off against her. So it looks like that's her next opponent, which I'm not super excited for, just because it's like, it's Natty. Okay, Natty's one of the greatest female wrestlers ever, one of the greatest wrestlers, period. She's just awesome. But I feel like they just kind of use her when they just need like a quick opponent for someone. Yeah. And I feel like they haven't built up anyone else as a big threat for Rhea Ripley. Yeah. Post Charlotte, her match with Charlotte. So Natty's just someone, next up against her that can just give her some good matches, but there's not a lot of emotional involved.
I thought Natty was coming in to beat up Dana Brooke. I was like, because she had on the all black. I was like, yeah. Oh, what if she joined the Judgment Day?
We saw Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn defend the titles against Imperium, Kaiser, and Vinci. They really are promoting Gunther making his debut on Raw next week. So that's cool. Also, congrats to him who got married, and who knew Gunther was such a badass dancer on the floor at his wedding. Love seeing Zoe Stark. She made her Raw debut, which is just a trip. We just interviewed her a month ago in LA. Now she's on Raw. Took on Nikki Cross, picked up the win. That was a great way for her Raw debut, pick up a win against a credible opponent. So very happy for Zoe Stark. And then Trish Stratus cut a promo in the ring. She was like putting up the missing signs for Becky Lynch, who hasn't been on TV in a couple weeks. I thought that promo was kind of cringe. It just wasn't really hitting with me. Trish Stratus' promo about like saying Becky's daughter's dumb because she's 2 and can't tell her colors. I don't know. Whoever wrote that promo for Trish, it just was not that good. I didn't think that came off too well. Ultimately, Becky did show up and beat her up. So Becky's back on TV. Great to see Becky Lynch back. And it looks like they're going to have a match soon. I don't know where, though, if it's Night of Champions or I know the rumors was SummerSlam, but SummerSlam's so far away. So.
Yeah. I don't know how they're going to stretch it.
Yeah.
Unless maybe Becky sends Trish away. Right. And like, I don't know, not with an injury, but kind of maybe they play that
suspended
game.
her or
Yeah, maybe they play that game where they stay away from each other for a few months. Maybe Trish comes back and costs Becky an opportunity for the title, maybe the Money in the Bank or something. Yeah. Costs her the match, and then that's how you set up a match between them two at SummerSlam.
Okay. That's good. And then the other major thing was Dominic defeated Xavier Woods. New Day got drafted to Raw. Xavier Woods made Dominic. You could tell he was laughing in that backstage promo where Xavier was making fun of Dominic's outfit, and Dominic was trying to hold back his smile. So, but Dominic picked up the victory. Judgment Day, all in action on Raw. So, dude, Triple H loves his Judgment Day, and they're staying strong, which I will hope to see at some point. They all have gold. Rhea keeps, obviously has the women's championship. Dominic, Damian, maybe make them tag champions at some point. And Finn maybe can be world champion at some point. So maybe that's a long-term goal, is Judgment Day can be champions at one point. So, but yeah, Raw is setting up Night of Champions right away. That was the big focus of this Fallout episode of Backlash for Monday Night Raw. It was really set up Night of Champions because it is coming up in less than 3 weeks now. So we'll check out what happens on SmackDown this week. A lot's going to happen. Exciting stuff, especially post Backlash. Just excited for where they're going to go, and World Championship, all that good stuff. Roman making his return.
I've seen some content creators on Twitter and some wrestling Twitter pages floating around the rumor of Triple H wanting to make this particular Raw that we just saw, an unforgettable one or one not to miss. And so we gotta stop paying attention to these accounts saying those things, because then you build up this whole expectation. It's obvious that his main concern right now is the World Heavyweight Championship and Night of Champions. I don't really think he was trying to make it like a Raw after WrestleMania type deal or anything like that. So yeah, I mean, I liked the episode of Raw. It wasn't like the greatest, but
I think, keep in mind, these are business people. They're just trying to hype up their show, their brand, to get people to tune in Tony Khan always has a major announcement like every other month, it seems like. And for me, I hear that and I'm like, okay, it's used as a promotional tool to get people to tune in. I'm still going to watch it no matter what. Yeah, you're right. People need to tune down the expectations and just enjoy the ride.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Real quick, the Way reunion backstage.
Yes. Well, okay, so people are, I'm getting confused. So Johnny, Candace, Indy, and Dexter were there, and Chelsea Green and Sonya Deville trying to get signatures for Injustice against Adam Pearce and whatnot, not getting their women's tag titles match.
Yeah.
So they confront the Way. So we got to see the Way reunion, and they brush off the tag to Sonya and Chelsea, but they said he's coming back. For me, I thought he was referring to Austin Theory because he's technically a member of the Way as well, but he's on SmackDown. He is a heel, though. I don't know if they're just trying to foreshadow maybe one day he can come back into the group, even though he's on SmackDown, but he's a heel. Him and Johnny have beef last year. A lot of people, though, are assuming it's referring to Ciampa, but Ciampa was never a member of the Way. So I don't know. What'd you think of that whole thing?
Yeah, I didn't catch on to it at first. I was trying to think. I was like, who's he talking about? But then when I completely forgot about Tommaso Ciampa. I was like, wow, I forgot he was even on this roster. He was on a roll for a minute, having great matches under Triple H, and he got injured. So it makes sense for him to say, hey, he's coming back, with the rumors of maybe a possible DIY reunion, talking about Ciampa returning to Candice and company.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, for me, I thought he was referring to Austin Theory, but yes, I'm also excited to see Ciampa come back just because I think the possibilities of him and Johnny can be a lot of fun on the main roster just because I feel like Johnny hasn't had much going on right now. So creatively, if you can do a DIY reunion, you can have some fun there, the tag division between the two of them, and that gives Johnny something to do right now. And then who knows, maybe down the road, one of NXT's greatest storylines involved Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. So maybe Triple H wants to do that again on the big stage, on the main roster. Maybe leads to like a big WrestleMania match or something. Yep. So who knows? We'll see. We'll see how that goes. So I'm all for it.
Definitely.
So, all right. On that note, let's start wrapping things up. Brian, where can the Kliqsters find you online?
Kliqsters, you guys can find me at BrianTronic on Twitter and Instagram.
Now I'm Baby Huey. Follow me on Facebook at Baby Huey Official, Twitter and Instagram at Baby Huey83. For everything else, at In The Kliq on social. Please subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts at. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Watch those videos. Give us a thumbs up. Leave a comment. Share the podcast any way you can. We greatly appreciate that. Email us inthekliq@gmail.com. And on that note, let's go home. And that's the bottom line because Huey said so.